You're watching the First and 10 High School Football Show. Brought to you by Carpet and Tile Factory Outlet in Durant.
Football is finally back in Texoma, and tonight we'll take a look at our teams north of the Red River, from new coaches taking over in Ada and Durant to Plainview and Wynnewood looking to return to the state title game, and the Ardmore Tigers looking to take that next step and playing for a gold ball this season, as well as the top 5 plays from last year. We'll cover it all in the next 30 minutes right here on the KTEN First and 10 High School Football Preview Show, Oklahoma edition. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Durant, Oklahoma, where, as you can see behind me, the Durant Lions are continuing to put in work for the upcoming season. Now, over the next 30 minutes, we have everything covered, South Central and Southeastern Oklahoma, but we start right here with the Durant Lions. Last year, this squad went 5-5, snapping a streak of consecutive losing seasons, and now with a new coach at the helm, they want to take that next step. Brendan Agans is over with incoming coach Ray Richards, and he has more.
Thanks, Dan. I'm here with Lions head coach Ray Richards. Coach, thanks for taking the time for us today.
Thank you.
And the first thing I want to ask you is, it's a new gig for you as the head coach here, but you've been around the program. What are some aspects of Durant football that you want to keep the same, and some unique things you're going to bring to the head coach position?
Well, I think Coach Matthews did a great job, and he started changing things in a positive way. So I'm going to continue to do what he's been doing. I think one of the things that, regardless of where you are, you've got to be able to work hard. You got to have a great work ethic. So we're going to continue to push the envelope and make our kids work harder and harder and harder. And the other thing that I think is probably a symptom of our culture is making commitments. Making a commitment to the football program, making a commitment to each other, to their players and the coaches, becoming more committed, working harder. Those are going to be the main things.
And this is a new position for you specifically here at Durant, but you've been around this football thing for a while.
Right.
What is it that makes Oklahoma high school football so electric year in and year out?
Well, Oklahoma's, I think, you have a lot of small towns, a lot of schools there's one school in the town, and so I think that makes it unique. It's similar to Texas in the sense that football's a big deal in this part of the country, and so it's football, it's late summer. That's what we do around here.
And Durant's going to have a great year. They're looking to build, and we're happy you took the time for us this part of the year, Coach.
My pleasure. I always enjoy talking about our kids and talking about football.
And as you can see, there's lots to be excited about here at Durant with Lions football, Dan. So I'm going to send it back to you.
Thanks, Brendan. Yeah, a lot to be excited about here in Durant, and also a lot to be excited about with our other teams across the region. Plenty of aspirations of that gold ball, from state semifinalists a year ago to perennial powers. Here's a look at some of our teams looking to make the run past Thanksgiving. The Ardmore Tigers are once again a popular contender pick in Class 5A. Josh Newby returns for his 3rd season at the helm, and each year they have produced a better record than the year before. Last season, the Tigers made it to the state semifinal game, and this time around, the bar has been raised.
I'm ready to go through another season with my boys. Hopefully we can bring the state championship back. We got close last year. We're going to see what we can do this year.
We just enjoy the process of every day coming out and getting better, and that's what we talk about, practicing, above the line and trying to do things right, and it's just a process thing for us.
You don't have to go far from Noble Stadium to find the 3A runner-up Plainview Indians. Plainview is coming off a 13-2 campaign, but did lose their starting quarterback and running back this summer. But Coach Price sees the team as a salty bunch, and they aren't accepting anything less than a championship.
We're like everybody else at this point. The ultimate goal is to make it back to the state championship. I think our kids have been there. They know how to win games.
You just got to get over that hump. It's just pushing that extra effort. And I mean, we always talk about mentality. You got to have a tough mentality type, and you just got to push through the toughness, and you got to do what you got to do.
The Class A runner-up Wynnewood Savages are also eager to hit the field once again after falling to a powerful Hominy team in the title game last year. The Savages come back fully stocked and reloaded with Marcus Knowles in the backfield and the next Odom in line. This time it's Brody, giving opponents nightmares on both sides of the ball. Look for the Savages to have a repeat season and once again contend for the Class A title. The Davis Wolves are once again a contender for the 2A state title. They are coming off a quarterfinal run last season. Briston Summers returns to lead the Wolves offense in the end zone, and Coach Jody Weber says the team is hungry to avenge last season's loss in the playoffs.
Obviously last year we were knocked out in the third round by a good football team. That happens when you play deep into the playoffs. I think it's hard to say we don't think about it and that they don't think about it. We're trying to win the day, like most people say, but in the back of our minds, we worked really hard to give ourselves an opportunity to be in the conversation. I think that's all you can ask. There's no guarantees.
The other half of the Murray County heavy hitters also has a gold ball in the mind. The Sulphur Bulldogs are expected to compete with some of the top teams in Class 3A. They classify themselves as a group that can cause fits because of quickness, and they want nothing more than to race away as state champions.
I think we're pretty fast, all in all, and I think we're tougher than most.
What would it mean for you to, as a senior, win a state championship?
Oh, it'd be amazing, man. It's just, I don't know, it'd be crazy, something I've always dreamed about, and I'm sure all these people have dreamed about too.
All right, it's time to take our first commercial break, but still plenty to come on the KTEN First and 10 High School Football Preview Show, including multiple teams trying to reach the playoffs after falling short in 2017, and we'll meet the new faces patrolling the sidelines in Ada and Atoka. But first, we get a look at top play number 5 from last season. This is Colgate visiting Kingston. Ian Conley fields the punt at the 20-yard line, shakes off a would-be tackle, picks up a plethora of key blocks down the sideline, and turns on the Jets from there. 80-plus yards for a Wildcat score. Colgate would go on to win that one 46-27. Conley and the Wildcats get play number 5 for the 2016 season. Who gets play number 4? Find out when we return. Welcome back, everyone, to the KTEN First and 10 High School Football Preview Show. Now, Brendan, for all the teams that make the playoffs, there are a few left watching it at home, unfortunately.
Yeah, for all those teams that started their winter sports season last year a little bit early, there's one thing on their mind, getting to the playoffs this season. And with a new season comes new opportunity, new motivation for coaches and players alike.
The Dixon Comets fell victims to a tough district going through the gauntlet last season without a win. But in head coach Steve Day's second season, the Comets are rejuvenated with a fresh young crop of athletes. As Coach Day says, the main concern in 2017 is learning from the past mistakes.
We've been talking about that, like I said, since spring football. So the culture around here, like last year was not a good year, but we've talked about that, and we've discussed it, and we've addressed it.
One of the goals is playoffs, but really I think our main goal is just each Friday night. Because if we focus too much on the end of the season, then we lose focus of what's right in front of us.
The Hugo Buffaloes may have missed the playoffs last year, but that isn't stopping the athletic bunch from dreaming big. With only one senior, these young guys will need to grow up fast in order to ultimately achieve their lofty goals in 2017.
We want to be at state championship, at the least deep in the playoffs, I think for every team it should be to be a state championship.
We're going to be explosive. I think we're going to be much more athletic than more teams and more aggressive and harder hit.
We go execute real hard. Everybody go far off. We going to have a good run this year.
Another squad looking to have a good run in 2017 is the Lone Grove Longhorns. Although the playoffs are in sight this year, and that is certainly one of their goals, head coach Trey Owens knows focusing on the details is what will get the job done for the Longhorns.
We just want to get better at literally everything. We want to get better at, breaking out before the locker room, warming up, drills, going faster in practice, pushing ourselves, through the line on every drill that we have, just maximizing every rep that we have.
The Tishomingo Indians were as close as one game away from reaching the playoffs last season. Now a young team with only one senior on the roster wants to finally break through, but their aspirations are far from just being included in the dance.
Our expectation is to be a playoff team. We would like to be a playoff team, not just a playoff team, but a home playoff team. We're just going to have to keep fighting and believing, and we're going to have to keep getting better every day. And I know that sounds real redundant and cliche, but it really is. That's going to be what gets us over the top.
The Wilson Eagles are also looking to take a big step forward in 2017 after making the shift from 11-man football to 8-man last year. The Eagles feel an offseason to adjust and learn the best way to attack, and their new style is just what they needed to have a big year.
Last year we were just getting the feel for 8-man football because we just dropped from 11-man to 8-man. So we were really just getting our feeling out for how the kids adjust to the 8-man speed. We put in a new offense, and like I said, the kids have really come out and started really taking to it.
And that is one of the best parts about sports. Each year really does come with a clean slate, and it all starts week 1, especially for those teams that missed the playoffs last year. It's a great opportunity.
And no teams were more excited August 7th to get this new season rolling after having that bad taste of missing the playoffs lingering in their mouths all off season. But really, high school sports present that ultimate clean slate. There's a lot of new players that weren't even around last year. And really, these kids aren't worried about last year's struggles as much as they are worried about making their mark on this football season.
And that's what will be written on all the whiteboards in those locker rooms. Make the playoffs, have a big old circle around it. We have reached our second commercial break here on the KTEN First and 10 High School Football Preview Show. Still to come, a familiar face is taking over a historic Ada football program. And after an early exit in the playoffs last season, the Kingston Redskins are back and ready to make some noise.
Before we head to break, here's a look at play number 4 from 2016. This is Medill and Tishomingo. Reagan Dodd to Trevor Goff, who gets behind the defense and somehow manages to catch a tipped ball, and he's off to the races from there. A 60-yard touchdown pass. Check it out one more time. Goff keeps his concentration and balance, and that equals a Medill Wildcats touchdown. Medill gets play number 4 from 2016. Who gets play number 1? Find out later in the show.
Welcome back, everybody. And just as some players graduate, new faces take over on the field, some schools, just like Durant with Coach Richards, have a coaching change at the top. Some schools are hired from within and some are brought in.
And we certainly have our fair share of fresh coaching blood this season. We have 7 new head coaches in Oklahoma, and all of them are coming in looking to take their programs to new heights.
We kick off our look at Oklahoma's new coaches with Chris Barris. Barris is in his second stint with the Cougars and has always called Ada home. With him, he's brought a renewed sense of energy to the Ada program, and the players are certainly taking notice.
The way he just involves himself with us, he treats us like we're his kids, and, he always has us with him. So, he's very, very bonded with us, and, he always makes sure we're here and coming in on time.
It's been great, honestly. He knows. He's been here before, so he knows how the kids are here. So he's adjusted to us more than we've adjusted to him, which has made it easier on us.
The Medill Wildcats hired their coach internally, promoting former defensive coordinator Drew Young to the head role. Young says he took the job because he didn't want to disrupt the continuity between a special group of players and coaches.
We coach these kids from the 7th grade on up, so it's not like other places I've been where you had them from the 10th grade on up. You've got 3 extra years there with these kids and a lot of time invested with them, so I stayed.
The Atoka Wampus Cats hired their new head coach John Solinger late in July, but he as well was an internal hire, sliding over from the offensive coordinator spot. But it is a new era for a team with a new stadium, new uniforms, and an eager new head coach.
Oh, I'm jacked up, man. This is probably the most exciting thing I've done to become a head coach for the first time and to open up a facility like this. It's really unbelievable. I'm very excited, very humbled by the opportunity that the leadership of this district has given me right here.
Among new coaches this year, Colgate has one of the easier transitions. New head coach Rob Green has been with the program for 3 years and even took over the reins after 3 games last season. That familiarity is a big asset for the 2017 Wildcats.
We have the best head coach in all of Oklahoma, and I feel like we've developed one of the best offenses in the state.
I took over after game 3 last year, and so kids are used to me, and they're used to the system that we run. So, there's been a lot of continuity within the program.
After spending some time earlier in his career at Plainview, Jacob Offelter has returned to Texoma, this time to lead a Marietta program which is always focused on winning big. His upperclassmen have noticed one specific thing about their new head man.
Things that stand out really much that we hate is conditioning. We got more of that, and I think that would really do a lot of affect us more in games.
He conditions us a lot more than last year. The practices are more organized. We're
just getting better as a team.
Just down the road in Thackerville, veteran head coach David Garza takes over this year and is determined to embrace all that is small-town football. Garza immediately utilized his biggest resource, the community, to repaint the weight room in the offseason, and the changes don't stop there.
Everybody knows there's coaching turnover, so there's a trust issue. The number one thing is I want to make sure these kiddos know that that I'm here for them. And when I talked to them in the spring, when I got here in March, I made them some promises. And one thing is to improve the facilities.
And all these coaches are taking over programs that had varying levels of success last year, but the goal this year is all the same, and that's that state title.
To me, what makes it really interesting is with all this turnover, there's a little mystery around some of these teams that we usually know what's going to come from them. So that should make for a really exciting 2017 season.
Still to come on the KTEN First and 10 High School Football Preview Show, we head back out to Pushmataha County where the Antlers Bearcats are going for a 4th straight trip to the playoffs. And who gets the top play of the year? Find out when we return. But who just missed out on the top 2? Well, we find it at Noble Stadium where Ardmore took on Lawton Mack for the district title. Third quarter, DeAndre Scott goes pick 6. The Tigers would fall by a single point in the Impromptu district title game, making them even more hungry in 2017.
You're watching the First and 10 High School Football Show. Brought to you by Carpet and Tile Factory Outlet in Durant.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, we've been through the contenders, we've been through the new coaches, and we've been through teams that missed the playoffs. So what about those teams that barely made the playoffs but are looking for a deeper run?
For all those programs you mentioned, the goal is very clear. It's either get to the playoffs. Now, for these teams we're about to talk about, the goal is to make sure they're not satisfied and become this year true state championship contenders.
And we'll start on the banks of Lake Texoma across the Roosevelt Bridge with the Kingston Redskins. The Redskins head into 2017 with goals that reach far beyond just another return to the playoffs. They have a handful of key starters back, but Coach John Caraway says it's up to the young guys to elevate their game and push the Redskins deep into November.
Well, one thing our young men, they expect to make the playoffs. It's just what's going to happen. They work hard, they take pride in that, and kind of a lot of new faces this year. They want to make their own mark. The bar's been set high, and they're ready to step up and meet that expectation.
Antlers squeaked into the playoffs in 2016, but that taste of success wasn't enough for this year's bunch. They have come into practice ready to roll and on a mission to prove last year's playoff appearance is the new normal for this Bearcat program.
The first thing is our main goal has got to be getting in the playoffs. I mean, that's our number one goal, is to get in the playoffs, and that way you get another chance to make another run. So that's probably our team goal as far as just getting where we need to be.
The Pauls Valley Panthers are back as one of the more experienced teams in the state with 8 returning starters on defense and 7 on offense. This includes wideout and speedster Jared Perry, as well as quarterback Jack Grimmett, who is entering his junior campaign. Last season, the Panthers went 2 rounds deep for the first time since 2004, and they want to raise the bar again in 2017. Healdton is another program trending upwards. After a playoff appearance in 2016, they returned 9 starters on each side of the ball. This veteran bunch has a firm grasp on what they need to do to succeed, and for head coach Mark Barrett, that makes his job a whole lot easier at the start of the year.
Things are going pretty good right now. It really helps, like I said, when you have 9 guys on both sides of the ball coming back, and they sort of know the routine, and we know what to expect from them. So it kind of makes things a little easier to get started this year.
Over in Ringling, the Blue Devils returned some strong upperclassmen in a school and community that just can't get enough football. This year's team is prepped and ready for another step forward, and head coach Steve Justice just can't wait to get things going.
We are super excited about the young men we have in the locker room this year. The attitudes are wonderful. The team, bonding and chemistry has been really good. Our kids have been really working hard. We feel like we got some athletes this year that are really going to help us out.
The Caddo Bruins come into 2017 with some veteran players who have given their heart and soul to their team over the past few years. And for guys like Matthew Jenkins and Drew Schoolcraft, they know this is their last rodeo and they best make it count.
It really hit me hard. I've played since I was in 5th grade is when I started playing, and it's a big part of my life. And it's going to be hard not knowing I can't come back next year and have another season.
I kind of want to make it to playoffs, hopefully go a little far, but we're going to have to work hard out there and work as a team just really good.
Last but certainly not least, we take a look at the Fox Foxes, a team that enjoyed a season which ended in the playoffs in 2016, and with an athletic, quick backfield, the Foxes are planning on a return trip to the playoffs in 2017.
This backfield that we have this year is as quick as any backfield I've ever had here. And we've had some fast backfields. Now, this is a quick backfield. We do have some speed with us, but the quickness, overall quickness of the team is great this year, and we're just hoping we're going to be able to capitalize on that.
Well, whether you're winning or losing, obviously winning is the most important thing in Oklahoma football, but it's almost impossible, win or lose, to keep these kids from having a good time.
Yeah, one thing we noticed in practice, these kids have fun, especially when we put a microphone and a camera in front of their face, and some of their responses are classic.
Riggs he's a nut. He's just one of those freshmen that he's not. He said earlier he's going to call me out in the rings.
Yeah.
He's
a little guy.
taller, so.
What is your favorite thing you did this summer? Off the field, no playbook, no video, nothing football related.
Okay. I was in a movie this summer. I shot a Western.
When you heard that, were you like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was kind of like, it was really weird. My mom told me, she saw it on Facebook, and he'd shared something about it. I was like, really? That's pretty interesting. Didn't know he was an actor.
As you see there, you never really know what these guys are going to say.
It's really one of the best parts of our job, getting to know these kids, because they're just an absolute blast. But as we finish previewing the 2017 season and get ready for kickoff, let's take one final look back at 2016. Here's the top 2 plays from the 2016 season.
For play number 2 of 2016, we go to the 3A state title game between Plainview and Jones. Eli Paul takes the handoff, bounces off 2 tackles at the line, jukes another on the outside, and dives in for the score. Great effort, avoiding 5 tackles total for the Plainview touchdown. Indians would fall, though, 16-6, finishing the season as state runners-up.
Play number 1 from 2016 goes to Adam Anderson in the Ada Tulsa Central game. He gets the handoff, meets 3 members of the Braves, somehow gets away, then spins away from another and tight ropes his way for 6. That's pure strength and power. Ada would go on to get the win.
Well, we definitely hope we see plenty more plays like that in 2017. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have tonight. But Oklahoma, remember, 0 week is next week. It's finally here. I can't tell you how excited Dan and I are to bring you another great football season in Oklahoma right here on KTEN.
And to our friends south of the Red River, your time to shine is next week on the 25th at 6:30 right here on KTEN. We will do our Texas edition of the high school football preview show. Thanks again for the Durant Lions for hosting us today, and we'll see you on Friday nights all season long.